Doris Noreen has celebrated a lot of birthdays in her life, and she just celebrated another one that actually might be more remarkable than her last.
Hard to believe. The Rockford native celebrates her 110th birthday, September 15th. Just to put it in perspective how long she's been alive, Doris was born the same year President Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act and the USPS started delivering packages. Also, I believe we had 45 United States at the time. Doris says having a good attitude, eating vegetables, and exercise are a few ways she made it to 11 decades.
I grew up with good vegetables, no preservatives, and lived a clean life, never smoked or drank.
So many things that could have taken her down, and she just keeps going.